Good evening. We are so glad you are here with us tonight. I'm going to introduce our guest speaker tonight, who is Jacqueline Sheppard. And I just have to tell you that she's just a very dear friend of most of us on this Zoom tonight, if not all of us. And I'm going to give you a little bit of her background. So, Jackie is a counselor, an educator, a mother, and a grandmother. She's the founder of a private high school, a former journalist, and with her husband Glenn, they're co-founders of an international prayer ministry. And for over 50 years, Jacqueline's extensive experience in counseling, research, and teaching concerning the body and the brain have transformed many lives. She's an author. This is one of her books, which is probably not going to look right to you guys, but it's Silent Takeover. And she's on the verge of publishing another book about anxiety and ADHD is what I believe it's about. So, Jackie, the time is yours. We're excited to hear you share about Protandim Nrf2.
Thank you, Julie. And it is so good to see all of you. It's just been a while since I've seen you. And I'm sorry Lena can't teach tonight because she's always just such an excellent teacher. My experience, I think probably all of you can remember the first time you heard about Protandim. My experience was I had a phone call from my chiropractor, Dr. Jennifer Gilkison, and she said, Mrs. Sheppard, there is a product that the University of Colorado has developed that's in research for ADD, ADHD, and autism, and it's all natural. She said, I have an investigative report on it. Can you come to the office? I remember because I was barefoot in jeans, and I said to her, I am on my way. Had she said anything to me about this is network marketing, this is multi-level marketing, we've got this great product, you're going to make a ton of money, I would not have gone to watch it. But she reached me right where I was because I had, as Julie said, I had all of these years of experience with working with ADD, ADHD, and more extensively now with autism than I had then. And we had studied all sorts of things about their cells. We knew that there were deficiencies in antioxidants. We knew they had free radicals. We also knew there wasn't anything out there that was helping it. We knew that some things worked in a test tube, but then they did not work in the human body. So I went straight to her office. I watched the long version, the 12-minute video, and I thought she probably doesn't realize this, but there's not another product like this in the world, or I would have known about it. So I said to her, you need to keep this in your office. I said, baby boomers are going to want this because if you can lower free radicals, you can lower disease. And then I said, and if it's effective with ADD and ADHD, I said, it would make sense. So I'm just doing my normal thing. And then she said, well, there is a business side to it. And some of you have heard me say I had no intentions of listening or doing anything with a business. But I did not want to embarrass the young man standing there the beloved Seth Campbell. And he began to introduce the business side to me. I didn't learn anything about that, if you want to know the truth. I still don't know as much about the business as I probably need to. But what I do know is that was February 2010. I had serious back issues, and I had early stage memory loss, which runs in our family. And I was praying desperate prayers, Lord, don't let me lose my mind. I did not take this pill, though, thinking or expecting it to do anything. I thought it would be like vitamin C. You take it because it's good for you. But I did know enough about free radicals because I'd learned about free radicals in the early 80s. In fact, I was one of the few people I knew that even knew what it meant to have high free radicals. And I also knew that oxidative stress was the cause of disease because a research pediatrician who was teaching me about ADD, ADHD, and autism told me that that oxidative stress was the cause of disease. And I went, the cause? And he, their causes, and he began to explain how that if you had these high free radicals, I think all of you know what a free radical is now, and your body wasn't making enough of uh, the enzymes in the body to handle these free radicals, you developed a condition called oxidative stress. And wherever that located, wherever it began to do its bad work in the body, is where you would be getting whatever it was, liver, kidney, brain, or whatever. So I had known about the science behind this product, this pill, since the early 80s. And I had worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably 1,000 kids by that time. And we simply could not get the results that we were needing by using antioxidants. So I started taking this. Within 4 months, my memory was better. 2 months, my back pain had stopped. 6 months, my brain was back. And I often say, what kind of person would I have been to have kept this to myself? So I'm going to do a really brief explanation on what is it doing in your body. And I hope it's going to come up here right. Okay. Now, if you're looking at this little diagram, let's see if I can move you all to another spot. If you're looking at this little diagram, and Julie, can you see it clearly?
Yes.
Okay. You'll see Nrf2, a biochemical wake-up call. Now, what does Nrf2 have to do with what we call Protandim? And you'll hear us call it Protandim. You'll hear us call it Nrf2. In the summer of 2010, Oxford University released a study saying that the Nrf2 signaling pathway in the body was the key to health and longevity. In the 50s, they had discovered that cells talk to cells. In 1994, a Japanese scientist began to do the research that identified this, named it this big long word that scientists shortened to Nrf2. But by 2010, they still didn't know what it did in the body. They knew it was there, they knew it was sitting around in these cells. They just didn't know what it did until Oxford University figured it out. When Oxford University said this, the Nrf2 pathway is the key to health and longevity. That was a message that hit thousands, probably millions of scientists who worked with the areas of oxidative stress, causes of disease. And for us, with LifeVantage at the time, Dr. McCord had told us we were just calling it an antioxidant at that time. And he told us, we know it's more than that, but we really don't know what it does. But if you've watched the investigative report, you know that within 30 days, they could not tell the difference in a 20-year-old and an 80-year-old with free radicals with oxidative stress. The average drop was 40%. So in my mind, when I watched that video, if you could drop the cause of disease an average of 40%, this is a no-brainer, isn't it? Why not? And then if you could, in 120 days, drop it an average of 70%, why would anyone not take it? It wasn't a question of expense. It was a question of what do you have to lose except bad health? And I feel like that's really what's happened to me. I've been doing Christmas shopping like a lot of you, and I've been seeing people that it just breaks my heart to see them. And I have an idea that if I stop and ask them their ages, they're going to tell me they're in their 60s and 70s. I don't think they're going to say, I'll be 83 in February, like I can say, because I have, even with taking an accidental fall this year, had remarkable recovery, and my mobility, haven't had any more problems with the early stage dementia, It has been an incredible, incredible season for me. So let's look at what this does in the body. It is a biochemical wake-up call. That's like if you had a watchdog and the watchdog was just sleeping around, paying no attention. Burglars were breaking in the house and everything, and the dog was asleep on the job. And then all of a sudden, the dog woke up and took out like a crazy dog to get the burglars out of the house. That's a wake up call. So when they say this is a biochemical wake up call, what are they talking about? You see here that this Nrf2, this signaling um, protein transcription factor, is the master regulator of antioxidant expression. What does it mean? It means it's going to regulate your body makes a lot of antioxidants, but the three major ones that we talk about a lot, glutathione, catalase, and superoxide dismutase, that it regulates whether or not those come and do the job they're supposed to do. You'll see that it is one of the key proteins. So what is it? It's a protein in the body that has the function of doing what? And this is so important, of regulating the genome. So we all have DNA, we all have inheritance, we all have diseases that run in our family and everything. Well, why will some people be able to go through and live a long life without being debilitated by, for example, inherited diseases and another one not? Now you may say, well, it's because they eat and exercise. But you know what? The longer I live, I find that that's probably not as much the truth as it is getting rid of toxins, being able to get the heavy metals out of your body, being able to have the vitamin and mineral absorption you need, and in generally being able to get rid of the bad guys while you're increasing the good guys. Now, this little purple, if you look at this little diagram here, you'll see a little purple blob. And they have put here an Nrf2 activator. Well, what are Nrf2 activators? Well, broccoli sprouts is the strongest one we know in the natural world. And when you eat, I believe it is, I've forgotten how many. It's about 2.6 pounds or something like that. I've forgotten how many pounds of broccoli sprouts you have to eat. It will, what Dr. McCord called, ring the doorbell. Now, what does that mean? You see all the little receptor cells, they're little green cup-likes, and they have a kinase written under them. Those little receptors are designed to receive your nutrients. And when the nutrients go into your body, they're supposed to do their job. They're supposed to create whatever that cell is in charge of. So when you eat something that is an Nrf2 activator, it's going to go through searching out these receptors. And the good news is an Nrf2 activator will be welcomed into any cell in the body. But is it going to be strong enough to do its job? It has to be able not only to like ring the doorbell, it's got to be able to go throughout the cell. And the problem with broccoli sprouts, the problem with all of these antioxidants and these super antioxidants with, where they're all sorts of fruits and vegetables and everything is, yeah, they may be able to fit into the little cell, but can it do its job? Can it not only ring the doorbell, but open the door to that cell and go throughout it? So what happens here is when this little purple blob, which is representing our Nrf2 activator, even though ours is yellow, it goes into this receptor and it activates what scientifically is called a keep one pathway. And then what does that do? If you look further down, you'll see a little red oval labeled Nrf2. Now, scientists knew that little Nrf2 represented by the red oval was in every cell of the body. but that's all they knew. But when that Nrf2 is activated, the Nrf2, that little red oval that you see there, it moves. And you see it again because it has moved into the DNA. So the Nrf2 activator activates it, goes into the cell, goes through its little scientific process, and it enters the nucleus of the cell. When it's there, and this is why this is different from any product out there. This is not a supplement. This is a nutraceutical. You know, pharmaceuticals, this is nutraceutical. When it gets into the nucleus of that cell, it begins signaling your survival genes. Now, this is every cell in your body, so it's going to do its little computer check. It's going to send a message to your survival genes, and that's the wake-up call. It says to your survival genes, here's what's wrong with this cell. Your job is to fix it. And then those survival genes will increase your production of superoxide dismutase, which has the miraculous ability in the body. One molecule will eliminate 1,000,000 free radicals every second, 24 hours a day. Compared to there's no comparison. An antioxidant simply can't do it. And it will upregulate your glutathione, which is the master cleansing antioxidant enzyme in your body. When you're sleeping at night, your glutathione's cleaning up the entire house, including your brain. And then catalase, which is the catalase takes it right on out of the body. So I want to say this to you. Everybody you know needs this if they're 18 and older. And it's my experience is that if they're 18 and younger and they have ADD, ADHD, or autism, or any childhood disease, they need to take it. And that's going to be a third of a pill for every 20 pounds. A 60-pound child can take a whole pill. And if you need to know more about that, Dr. Neil Goodman, who was head of pediatrics for I think it was the major hospital in Brunswick, Georgia, is an authority on this. And if you have a well-known, renowned pediatrician who is saying this, then I think you can certainly believe me. Julie,